Excited about Airsoft? Hit the like button and comment to join other Airsofters in the conversation.
Hello, I'm George, and today I wanted to do a video about my top 10 favorite plate carriers. Now, I've been playing Airsoft for over about 12 years. I've been also a real gun guy for about that long as well. I've done everything from big milsim games to little speedsoft games, everything in between. And I have a lot of experience with plate carriers, both in modification, as well as creation, as well as buying a lot of plate carriers because I love gear. So what I wanted to do was talk about all the things I've learned about all these plate carriers on this list. Every plate carrier that I included on this list, I have either personally used or owned. Well, obviously if I owned it, I used it. Or there are some exceptions where the person I knew very well owned the plate carrier and was able to tell me about their likes and dislikes of the plate carrier. Coming in at number 10 is the Phantom Gear Wraith plate carrier. This is the only plate carrier on my list that is under $100 and has a lot of unique features that I really like in an entry-level plate carrier. It includes detachable front placard, Velcro for patches along with MOLLE, so you could put an admin panel if you want to, elastic cummerbund with magazine slots, and a removable back panel. Nice shoulder pads, and a carry handle. Coming in at number 9 is the LVX Artemis II plate carrier. I chose this plate carrier number 9 for a few reasons. Number 1, the built-in M4 pouches that come on the placard that come with it. The removable Velcro installed back panel, which is really nice because you can attach a pack to it, have it removed when you want, and change your rear setups. Comfortable shoulder pads, lightweight kind of cummerbund with breathable material all the way around through it, and then the nice built-in admin panel at the top. One of the last features, and it's one of the main reasons why I like this plate carrier and the LVX line, is they come in a cool, unique color such as this called moss gray. Because of the different color variety of this plate carrier, it ranges in cost from $230 to $260. Coming in at number 8, I was a little reluctant to put this in this place, but it's the FirstSpear Strandhogg. What I like about this plate carrier is the obvious, which is the fact that it has the tube system, both on the shoulder straps, as well as the front cummerbund. This makes donning and doffing the plate carrier super easy. That said, one of my other favorite features about this plate carrier is the shoulder pads. These shoulder pads I use on other plate carriers. They are amazing. They push the straps away from your shoulders, giving you a nice comfortable fit no matter how heavy you load down your plate carrier. And just overall, they're just really breathable and nice. Now, for the things I don't like about it, believe it or not, as much as everybody raves about the 16 to 12 MOLLE pattern PALS webbing that's laser cut, I actually don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is, number 1, sometimes attaching pouches to it is kind of a pain, as well as sometimes over time they start to wear out and they start to kind of bow out. And if you have like a heavy pouch that's holding a heavy radio, or if you have a pouch that holds like a bigger magazine or something really heavy, it can start pulling away from the body over time. It takes a long time to get to that, and if you run it slick, like it is in its current configuration, it's really nice because you don't have a bunch of extra PALS webbing. That said though, it's kind of a feature I don't like. The next thing I don't like about it actually is the way the cummerbund system works, which I'll show you in a moment, but it makes it so it's not really compatible with aftermarket cummerbunds as easily, so that's something that is also a negative. So the cummerbund comes, it's basically facing the opposite direction of what normal plate carriers do. The reason they do that is because the second side of the 6x12 laser cut material has loop Velcro on the inside. So they use that as kind of a securing mechanism. The only thing that stinks about it is like if you're routing for like a backpack on the back panel here, it makes it so it's a lot harder to grip each other when you have those inks. It's obviously taking away Velcro space on the inside. And it also makes it so you can't throw an aftermarket cummerbund in here and have it be as stable right off the bat, which is kind of annoying. I will mention that it has built in kind of like a pontoon airway system with mesh, which is a very nice feature. It breathes really well. So that's actually really nice. And it does have side armor plate inserts if you're looking for something like that. Overall, I do like this plate carrier, but the cost kind of turns me off a little bit, and that is $560. Coming in at number 7 is a plate carrier we actually don't sell, which is one of my favorite plate carriers that I used for a little while before moving on to a different plate carrier, which is the Spiritus LV-119. Spiritus makes great equipment. The only drawbacks about this plate carrier is I don't really like the cummerbund mounting system on the back because it really isn't compatible with a lot of aftermarket, other aftermarket cummerbunds. But luckily, most of the cummerbunds that they make are pretty good. The only other thing I don't really like is the stock shoulder pads that come with it, or lack thereof. But obviously, if you upgrade to like a FirstSpear or other shoulder pad systems, it can make it more comfortable. Prices from these plate carriers can range from a little over $200 to up to $400, depending on your cummerbund options and what you add to it. They can be run in a slick or a molly setup, kind of depending on what you want to do with it. Overall, it's one of my favorite plate carriers to own, and I still would recommend it. Coming in at number 6 is the price of like 2 car payments. The CPC and the Crye CPC, or in some cases the AVS plate carrier systems, depending on what you're using. Overall, I personally do not own or have ever tried one of these plate carriers, but everyone who I know who has one of these plate carriers, they say the same thing, which is it's kind of hard to set up to your body type, but when you set it up and when it's fully loaded out, it is one of the best load-bearing pieces of equipment that you can have. It can run a very large backpack on the back and not really fatigue you very much because of its harness system. You could run pretty heavy plates and you're only really bogged down by the just general weight of the plate carrier. You don't really feel the weight specifically on your shoulders or on other places. So once you get it set up, it's a really good plate carrier to run. That said, the drawbacks to me from, again, talking with people who I trust, is how you don and doff it, how you set it up for yourself, and the price. The price of this plate carrier is $700, which makes it the most expensive plate carrier right now on Evike.com. But it is Crye Precision. They make quality gear for a bunch of different branches of the military, as well as overseas special forces units. So the way this plate carrier comes together is in 2 phases. First thing you do is you basically set the kind of limits of how the cage comes together. This is based off of your own body preference and all that kind of stuff. The nice thing is you can move these pads around so they can kind of be balanced on your pressure points of your back. You can extend and compress the cage in the back to make it the size you want. And one of the cool things is you can actually have this kind of put on loosely, and when you're ready to start, you can tighten it up. And it has a little bit of elastic on it, so that way it really breathes well when you're using it. The way you doff it is in 2 parts. First thing you do is there's a little slot where you basically put the inner cummerbund piece, and what this does is kind of hold the inner part of the cummerbund, and then the last part goes over the top and tucks into the top flap just like a normal plate carrier would. Features many of the same things you see in other modern plate carriers. Has buckles to add a placard on here if you want, even though this is sewn in. Featured on both sides of the rig is a kind of quick disconnect if you need to be able to ditch the back of your plate carrier really quickly to be able to get to a trauma wound, or if you're drowning or something like that. You basically just pull this, comes out, and then just like that, your plate carrier comes off and comes together. I have the back of the plate carrier here. This is attaching one of Crye Precision's add-on panels that's zippered on. Very nice feature in case you want to add extra things really quickly without having to use molly. And it comes off pretty simply just by undoing the 2 molly strap or side zippers. And if you want to, some people add the top straps to be able to secure it if it's carrying extra weight. It's very well built if you haven't used one before. And overall, just a really good plate carrier if you have the money to do it and if you want to have something that's very load bearing. Coming in at number 5 is one of my personal favorites. It's kind of from the past. It is the Eagle Industries MBAV. Now, the MBAV is, in my opinion, one of the older carriers that can kind of hang in the modern era in terms of plate carriers, mainly because you can kind of strip it down to a bare bones plate carrier pretty easily. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to run the full load out of it, it can hold a lot of stuff, pretty comfortable to your body, not as bad as like an Interceptor or any of the older body armor types from the early 2000s. But overall is one of my favorite plate carriers if you want to have something as a throwback, and you could get them secondhand pretty affordably. If you know the right place, you could sometimes find them sub $300. But they don't really exist new anymore. But it's still one of my throwbacks to the past, one of my favorite plate carriers of all time, at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the Ferro Concepts SLICKSTER. I use the SLICKSTER as like a whole family, including their other version that includes the MOLLE back, as well as the other cummerbund options they have for this plate carrier, and then all the accessories that you can add onto it, including shoulder pads and all that kind of jazz. But this one comes in at $160, great value for what you get. Let's get into it. For $160, you get breathable material on the inside, plenty of Velcro on the back, adjustable cummerbund with elastic, and can also take M4 mags. On the front, you get vertical PALS webbing to be able to attach either buckles or G-hooks for placards from either Ferro Concepts or Haley Strategic or other brands out there if you want to rock a placard or a chest rig on the front of your rig. And then on the top, you have plenty of Velcro to be able to mount pouches. One thing I forgot to mention, I do like how it has the laser cut pull straps, make it very easy to don and doff it. One cool feature on the bottom of the plate carrier is it has these little laser cut tabs. This enables you to put like a shock cord on a tourniquet or something of that matter, so that way you can have easy access to it. Now, the gripe I have on this plate carrier is, honestly, if it wasn't for this gripe, I would probably put this either at number 1 or number 2. And the reason is the adjustment strap system. If you've owned one of these before, you'll know that they come disassembled and they give you a little plastic piece that you basically insert into here so you can adjust how the shoulder strap comes together. The issue with that is you basically have to spend a long time getting the shoulder strap to mesh with you 100%, and then hopefully you never have to adjust it on the field or in use, because if you do, you're gonna have to take off your plate carrier, hopefully find a way to undo the Velcro on the inside and move the strap around, which to me, I don't like. I like to be able to, sometimes you'll notice you'll be carrying something and you'll be like, my right shoulder really hurts or my left shoulder really hurts. And you'll wanna be able to make that adjustment on the fly. You do not wanna have to take off your plate carrier, find a special piece or some way to remove this shoulder strap. And also, it doesn't have any padding. I do know that they have aftermarket pads that you can put on here, which do make it more comfortable, but do be aware you still have to adjust the shoulder straps. Okay, coming in at number 3 is something I was very excited to get my hands on, and thanks to the guys from Haley Strategic for sending us one before we could get them up on the website. But this is the Haley Strategic Thorax plate carrier. One thing I really like about this plate carrier off the bat is the foam design that's built into it. It has foam that basically goes from the top of the plate carrier. Anybody who's used like a heavy plate and you've never knocked down on that, that is definitely a nice feature to have. Doesn't happen as much in Airsoft, but you never know what you're gonna happen. And then it has a nice channel that's kind of built in with their logo that goes all the way down. Very nice material, very good foam, very good stock right out of the bat. Another thing I like about it is it has adjustable shoulder straps, nice, decent stock padding, has a channel that it routes through, which is the nice thing about this channel is you could route comms through it or anything like that, or hydration. And then has inside here buckles, standard 1-inch buckles from ITW that you can connect any type of placard. This cummerbund specifically features their smaller cummerbund, which is their chicken straps. Actually, I kind of prefer these to almost anything right now, except maybe the elastic cummerbunds that exist on the market, mainly because it's very low channel. It still enables you, if you want to put like a small pouch or something like that on the side, which you don't want to overload the side of your plate carriers too much because it gets kind of awkward. But you can, if you want to, put like small little pouches, which I like, and it provides a decent amount of padding and stiffness to keep your plate carrier in the right height. Features your standard MOLLE on the back with these nice little, you can't really see them, but they're little 550 cords pieces that are kind of sewn into the side, but enables you to put a lot of extra stuff on the side if you wanted to kind of route cables, stuff like that. Pretty nice feature. Also has PALS webbing, so you can attach any type of pack like the Haley Strategic flat pack. The only reason I think this plate carrier comes in at number 3 compared to the other 2 plate carriers I have on the list is probably the price point. Price point of just this bare bones plate carrier here with the 2 plate bags and the chicken wing cummerbund is over $300, almost $400. And when you start adding on placards and stuff like that, you're looking at a $500, $600 setup. Overall, it's one of the best quality setups that you could possibly have right now. And it's very comfy, so I do recommend it, but that's why it's in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Crye Precision JPC. I included the Crye Precision JPC 1 and the Crye Precision JPC2 in this video. Both are very similar in some ways and different in other ways. The JPC2 is a little bit more expensive, so right now I'm going to focus on the JPC1. When this plate carrier first came to market, there really weren't many other plate carriers on the market that were so low profile. I'm not really sure why it's called the Jumpable plate carrier, but regardless, just to go over some of its features, it has a laser cut, almost like a Hypalon material, but it's IR coated. This enables for a very, very slim shoulder strap design that's lightweight, that doesn't interfere with you in terms of being able to shoulder your rifle. Has some very thin, almost pointless shoulder strap sleeves, and the way the Velcro comes together, it has to be adjusted before you have this sleeve on, which does make it adjustments when it's on your person a little bit more difficult. Does have a small amount of ventilation on the front here, which you can kind of see at the top to kind of help some heat escape. And it features a caged style. This is where the caged style cummerbund kind of was born, if you will. It was kind of started by Crye Precision. Very cool, unique design. And the way it came together in the back was also a unique design because it didn't have a cummerbund flap. Now that said, this is probably, in my opinion, one of the hindrances of the plate carrier. The reason is because attaching things onto the back can sometimes be a pain in the butt depending on how these are adjusted. So you just got to be very careful for how things are adjusted, but it can be kind of problematic for attaching back panels, which is why I'll get to the JPC2 in a second. The JPC1 features a nice little admin panel, kind of hidden at the top, where you can just drop in some small things, patches, as well as places to put patches on the front. And it has two Molle pieces here, or Powell's webbing pieces here, that you can kind of add an aftermarket buckle if you wanted to be able to run a placard of some kind, but it would have to go over this, which makes it kind of a little bit redundant, which is something that JPC2 fixed. And then included is some magazine pouches that are built in to hold M4 magazines. Pretty cool. The nice thing is they have their own little channels on the inside that are elastic, so they kind of help retain the magazine. I've seen people not use the front straps and they still hold the magazine retention pretty well because of these little straps on the inside. So very nice feature. And then comes on and off, just like the majority of plate carriers these days, just on Velcro on the front. Very simple, very easy design. One of the coolest features of the JPC is the reason it always looks like it's form-fitting the plates perfectly is it has some tweave on the inside here. And this is basically a stretch material that's very durable that enables you to kind of hug the plate. So it's always hugging the plate perfectly, makes it look really nice, really professional if you're into that kind of thing, and overall, very comfortable. Talking about the JPC2, which is a little bit more expensive, it solves some of the problems with the JPC1. Number one, it got rid of the front mag pouches, added small little amount of 1-inch webbing here to be able to attach buckles, to be able to put a plate carrier on it, like the Haley Strategic D3 CR, which was nice. They added on the back zipper panels. So this enabled you to use, again, the Crye Precision zip-on panels to be able to have a back panel. And the nice thing about this is it made it so you didn't have to deal with the Molle pieces to be able to put on a back panel. And it also enabled you to have something that was kind of more spur of the moment. You can change it on the fly, very simple, very durable. So very good feature to add onto this. Almost puts it in the same kind of category as like the CPC and stuff like that. Very nice add-on. The JPC1 comes in around $200, which is pretty good value considering what you get. You get a plate carrier that's ready to go out of the box and along with some mag retention, which is kind of nice. The JPC2 is a little bit more pricey, goes up from what, $220 to $300, depending on your color and other things like that. But overall, one of the more utility-based plate carriers in this family. I personally really like the back panel. One of my favorite plate carriers of all time. Really kind of was a pioneer in the minimalistic plate carrier market. Coming in at number one is a plate carrier family, which I feel is the best bang for your buck, number one, and probably one of the coolest plate carriers in the market as number two. And what I mean by that is, first up, I'm gonna have the Velocity Systems Scarab. Now, what's great about this plate carrier, very comfortable to your body, has a mesh cage-like cummerbund, front buckles to attach any type of placard or anything like that, and it includes a magazine pouch that goes on top of the cummerbund, which is kind of a unique feature in and itself. And also one of the best parts is it's removable. So unlike other plate carriers on the market that have a panel that's on the front, it is removable, which is kind of nice. So if you want to, you can kind of run it a little slicker like this, or you can attach a D3CR micro or something on the front. Now, one thing that I've seen modified that some people do is they'll basically unstitch this pouch right here. So it'll basically leave Velcro underneath, and then you don't have to worry about this. You have it slick, you could just run your placard on there and no problem. So some people do get rid of the kind of little bulky pouch that it has on here. Some people keep it because it does act as like a little admin panel. So it is kind of nice overall. Lots of Velcro space up front. Includes the 1-inch ITW buckles, so you can attach any placard you want. On the back has tons of Molly and Pals webbing. And then on the side has a zipper system. Similar to the Crye system, it has its own proprietary back panels that you can add on to it, which enable you to change your mission spec to the back pretty quickly and pretty efficiently. The cummerbund is very similar to the JPC, and it's very similar in the sense that it's 3 pieces that connect it. Inside this plate carrier is how you adjust it, and it's done with some Velcro tabs that go on the top. I don't know if you can kind of see them here. I'm trying to pull this up, but basically these Velcro tabs go on the inside of the plate carrier to attach to it. Makes it very easy to adjust, and also just not have a lot of extra weight and bulk to it by also being able to give you access to the zipper system. Very cool, unique feature that I kind of wish some other plate carriers on this list used when doing their cummerbunds. Now, this would be the end-all be-all #1 plate carrier, except for the price. The price is over $300. It's around $335, $330, around that, depending on the colors and stuff you go with it. So it's a little bit out of the price point of some players. Now, going into #1, the full #1 in the same family is the Mayflower APC. This plate carrier is $235, as you see here. It has shoulder straps that are adjustable on the fly. It has a little padding around them, has full Molly on the back, has a Molly cummerbund that you can also put side armor into. It has an adjustable elastic piece for the inside, so it gives you a little bit of adjustment there in terms of being able to go around your body. Includes a front flap that has an admin panel or a magazine panel if you prefer. They even make a 2 magazine insert that goes in here if you want, or you can just use it as an admin panel and put your D3CR on top. Has Velcro on top of the Molly's panel here. You can attach as well. Adjustable cummerbund, very simple. And as I mentioned before, you have the ITW buckles on the top, so you can put your D3CR micro or Spiritus placard or Ferro placard, whatever you want, whatever placard you like, you can put on the front of this. And it's and on top of that, little admin panel. One of the cool unique features, has elastic on the inside to be able to hold pens, and just a really cool overall best bang for your buck. You get all of this for $235. This is what I would recommend if anybody's looking for a plate carrier that's made in the USA, that has quality materials, quality build, as well as affordable. Okay, so that is my top 10 plate carrier list. What do you guys think in the comments? I know probably there's some plate carriers that I forgot out on the market. Actually, I know a few that I kind of floated with adding to this list. And if you would like to see me do another plate carrier video with all plate carriers under $200, comment in the section below and I'll happily make that list. Also, let me know if one of these plate carriers is one you personally run and explain to me why you like it. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.
Want even more Airsoft content? Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon. Follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook for epic weekly giveaways.